Getting towards crunch time here with baseball. Wanted to bring in one of our favorites, Mitch Wild Thing Williams, on loan from the Major League Baseball Network, coming across the river here to join us here in our New York City man cave. Good to see you again.
You too, Dan.
What's on your mind?
First off, where do I get the life-size Rick Sutcliffe bobblehead?
Do you think that looks like Sutcliffe? It's supposed to be me.
Oh, the size of the head, it looks like Sut.
Sutcliffe does have a big noggin,
Oh, yeah.
but that's not the biggest head in baseball.
No, that resides in San Francisco.
Bruce Bochy.
Boch.
He's got an 8 head.
Yeah.
James Baldwin of the White Sox and Gil Mesh, I think, had 8 heads, too.
Yeah, Gil had a big gourd.
I remember talking to Bochy, and he said he could put a 6-pack of beer in his hat with ice.
That doesn't surprise me. Sutcliffe chased me all over Wrigley Field during BP one day because a blimp flew over, and I told him his hat stretcher was here.
How crazy were the Cubs back then when you had Sutcliffe and Mark Grace, and you had all these day games there? So you finish your day game, and all of a sudden you got the night.
Well, let's just put it this way: if I'd have been single, I'd have broke even with the league. Because Rush Street has brought a lot of people to their knees. It was we had a lot of fun, especially in '89 when we won.
Yeah,
but
how tough is it that? Because I've always said, Grace could have been a Hall of Famer if he maybe played in another city, because you had, it's tempting to go out after every game. You're done at what, 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah, but a lot of the guys on that team were married, and we weren't like that. It wasn't a going out team. It really wasn't. I was a guy that got up early anyway. So the day game, the only thing I didn't like about it was going from Texas, where we play all night games. My ERA in the daytime, my first 3 years, was a run higher in the daytime than it was at night. And then I get traded to the Cubs. I'm going, oh, good, this should be fun.
Did you enjoy Wrigley, though, as a pitcher?
Loved it. Everybody thinks it's a hitter's ballpark.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that April and the first 2 weeks of May, you can't hit a 2-iron out of left field.
Sutcliffe's known as a great practical joker. One of the great ones. Did he ever punk you?
No, Sut never punked me. He was one of those guys. The one thing I will say about Sut, you'll never meet a more generous guy. Like if you were a rookie or something, he wouldn't let you pay for anything. Sut paid for everything. He was one of those guys that just did that kind of thing. Now, Rhino, there's a deal in baseball, as an understood, and I bust on Rhino. Congratulations on your new job, by the way, Rhino. But if you ride in the front seat of a cab on the way to the ballpark, the guy in the front pays. Well, Rhino could be riding with 2 rookies and dive through the back window and make sure he didn't have to pay for the cab.
Cheapest guy you ever played with?
Probably. Yeah, he held on, or him or Sean Dunston. Sean Dunston tipped clubhouse guys.
Yeah.
$10 a day. It didn't matter how much money he was making.
How much is normal, though? What's etiquette on home and away?
There's not really an etiquette. I paid every clubhouse guy $100 a day, but that was just me because I asked for a lot and paid him.
I remember Dibble would always talk about, like, there would be certain stadiums that had porn stashes. Like, Shea Stadium was a big one that way.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I know you wouldn't, but I thought maybe you knew people, though. But, you got a lot of downtime there.
Yeah.
Certain stadiums, though, you love to go to because...
There were certain stadiums I liked to go to, and there were certain stadiums I hated to. Like the clubhouse guy in Montreal, Claude, if you gave him a quarter a day, you were overpaying him because his spreads were the worst. You have
so the food was bad?
Oh, meatloaf one night, and what didn't get eaten, he made into spaghetti sauce the next night.
Best spread where? San Francisco?
No, L.A.
Oh, yeah?
They had Mexican food after games in L.A. that was awesome.
That could be dangerous, though, can it?
Only if you don't like Mexican food.
Yeah. Mitch Williams joining us here in the studio. I was talking about Derek Jeter, and you're seeing it now. I mean, you never want great players to go out this way. I don't know if there's going to be a better ending here. What would you do if you're the Yankees, and what would you do if you're Jeter?
Well, if I'm the Yankees, I don't have a choice because it's a player option. And I look at Derek and I go, and then I look at Mariano. There's certain players that play this game, like me, that the game decides when you leave. And then there's certain players like Mo and Jeter that they decide when they leave. I think Derek will play next year because he wants to go out on his terms, much like Mariano.
But you look at the left side of that infield for the Yankees. Let's say A-Rod's back. So you got 40 and 39 there on the left side of the infield.
Well, let's just say that third base, I don't think will be occupied by A-Rod.
What do you think will happen?
I think he's going to get suspended.
Do you think he's done, though, after this? He'll get suspended in the offseason, and he'll be done for...
It all depends on what they decide about his contract. I don't know any of the inner workings of that or how that'll be handled, but the suspension's going to stand. I don't see it going away.
But why don't the players, why isn't there an uproar with the Players Association to say we're going to take back our Players Association and not let these guys who are cheating dictate, and it's guilt by association here?
Well, exactly. I know if I was playing right now and it was to the point that it's gotten, I would want to say something to the association. Say, look, we had the testing in play. I firmly believe the only way you're going to change this is the first offense is a year, the second offense is your career. You're done. You start taking a man's livelihood from him, that will screeching halt to all of it. There's always going to be guys that test the system if the penalty is only 50 games, especially when those guys put up great numbers and then get caught and then get rewarded with a bigger contract and longer contract the next year.
How much it bother you, though? You throw a pitch and you got a guy hitting a home run off of you that you know shouldn't be hitting a home run off
Let me put it to you this way. Anybody that gives up a home run and blames it on performance-enhancing drugs is looking for an excuse. I knew guys that were taking steroids that hit home runs off me. If I make a pitch, they don't hit a home run. It's that simple. You cannot – if you throw a nasty slider, it don't help you hit a slider. Yeah, all it did in my mind was give players 62 extra games to put up numbers because at 100 games, your body's shot. That's my opinion on it.
So just the recovery of
being able to play for 162 days.
All right, let me ask you about this situation now. If you're going to handicap, say, the best team in the National League is who?
Right now, it would be the Dodgers.
They just got swept by Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But you consider them the favorites to go to the World Series?
Right now, yeah.
Okay. Favorite in the American League?
In the American League, Detroit.
What happened to Verlander?
His mechanics are a mess. I look at him, and for me, when I look at a pitcher and I go back to his 2011 season and I look at how he's throwing the ball and what he's doing with his backside and his front side, he's simply peeling out too soon, which his front leg is collapsing. When you watch him land, he used to throw into a stiff front leg, finish behind his head, then.
But if you know it, he should know it. Right?
You have to look at video, and I'm sure he's looked at video, and maybe that's just not something that's jumping out at him, but it definitely jumps out at me because I know what ended my career was the fact I could not throw into my front leg anymore. I had 7 knee surgeries, and that's why I ended up putting my glove down because my leg collapsed.
Give me a long-term contract that you think is smart money.
Right now, I would probably long-term Fernandez. The kid in Miami.
No, not having one. I'm talking about if you look at these guys who get 10-year deals. So Josh Hamilton, Pujols.
Oh, those guys, there isn't one. Oh, there's one, Prince.
You think that's going to be a good deal?
Yeah.
Just because he's going to get bigger, slower, but still play first base or DH. Right?
I don't think he's gotten any bigger or any slower over the course
Well,
of his
eventually
career.
he will.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, just
the
age.
one thing you can count on with him, much like Crucky,
yeah,
he's going to play every day. How many times have you seen Prince not in the lineup?
Well, what about Cabrera? Because he's going to eventually have to play first, isn't he? Is he going to be able to play third base the whole time?
Eventually, he'll probably be able to DH.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
But I look at him, and there's certain guys. You know, you saw Rod Carew and Tony Gwynn and Paul Molitor. There's certain guys that when they have a bat in their hand, they just look, it looks right. Cabrera, though, I'm trying to think who he reminds me of. That, you know, you have a right-handed hitter. Normally, right-handed hitters don't have a fluid-looking swing like left-handers do. I don't know why that is, but who compares to Cabrera?
The closest one I can come up with is Manny in his prime, Ramirez. I've never seen anyone that comes close as anyone. It would be Manny because they stay inside the ball so well. The pitch, I forget who Miggy hit it off.
It was off the.
They said that ball 6 inches inside.
Yeah.
No, it was in the right-handed batter's box, and he got his hands inside it and hit it out of the park.
Well, he may have been artificially inflated too at the time.
No, this was this year.
Well, do you think he's not cheating?
Miggy?
Oh, I thought you said Manny.
Oh, Manny.
Oh,
No, not Manny. I'm talking about Miggy.
Okay, who would surprise you if they were cheating?
Oh, it would be an absolute surprise if you told me Prince or Miggy.
But that would shock you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I wouldn't. Nothing shocks me. Jeter would shock me.
Oh, that would shock me too. But I look at Prince and Miggy and their approach at the plate and their size and all that. I just can't see it.
Eric Burns came out recently. He didn't name names, but he said somebody's in the Hall of Fame who played in the 70s and 80s who was a steroid user, got in. Should he name the name or should he be quiet?
It all depends on how he wants to be viewed, I guess.
Well,
that would be up to Burnsy. I mean, I look at that and.
But I was bothered by it. Like, you're just sort of teasing people, and then, I mean, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, I got a secret. I'm not going to tell you.
You're stirring the pot for no reason. That's why my big problem with the A-Rod story, if there's any truth to the 60 Minutes story that he gave up Cervelli and somebody else, that's wrong.
But do you think that's why Dempster hit him? Being a
probably.
Snitch? Would you hit a snitch?
Only if they snitched on me.
But what if they just did it to anybody? Would you care?
I had a problem with Dempster hitting him.
I did too.
Honestly.
Well, hit him the first time. I mean, don't take four tries.
That's what really bothers me. There's nothing in this game that bugs me more than I was one of the wildest guys ever.
Yeah.
When I threw at you, you were hit. I didn't throw it 8 feet behind you. I'm not going to throw it over your head. It's going to be in your ribs. I couldn't throw it over the plate, but I never missed the guy I threw at.
Before I let you go, did you view it as a tribute when Charlie Sheen played you in Major League? When somebody said, oh, he's the wild thing and wear your number, even though he's right-handed, how did you take that?
No, see, I got to straighten all this out because so many people have this backwards and so many people claim that I was Wild Thing first. That's backwards. I got my nickname. Calvin Schiraldi and I were playing in Chicago. The movie came out in '89. We went and saw it. Calvin started calling me Wild Thing. It caught on in Chicago. It was all Charlie. It was not me.
But wasn't he wearing 99?
Yeah, but people think I wore the number 99 because of the movie. It had zero to do with that.
So there's no connection whatsoever.
None. I was a huge Gastineau fan when I was a kid. No one would give me the number 99 in baseball. And then finally in 93, Bill Giles, the owner of the Phillies, said, if you still want 99, you can wear it.
You ever meet Gastineau?
Yeah, I did. At a tournament in Alpine.
Did you tell him you were a big fan of his?
I don't think he'd have known who or what I was.
It's good seeing you.
You too, about
Thanks
anytime.
for stopping in. Mitch Wild Thing Williams, you can watch Mitch on MLB tonight, 6 p.m., leading into the Yankees-Orioles at 7 Eastern on the Major League Baseball Network. MLB Network, available DirecTV, Channel 213. You can take home my Rick Sutcliffe bobblehead doll if you'd like.
Great.
Yeah. You can put that on the hood of your truck
keep the mosquitoes off my back porch.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.